Taking a breather from the hot construction sites. He's been visiting today with the City of Jackson Engineering Department, Troy White. Hi, Troy.
How you doing, Bart?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it's hot out there.
It is.
Yeah,
it's nice to be in here and get a little AC break.
Does it affect the project when it's this hot?
No, I mean, people keep working. We're hot. We're not that hot yet, but it's also easy for me to say, you know, those guys are out there working hard on a day like this. So
Yeah, before the show we were debating which would be worse, to be out there when it's 15 degrees or when it's 95.
either way, they're earning it. It's hard work. And it's hard work on a normal day, but then to be hot or be cold, it's a
That's true.
whole nother level. So, you know, I really have a lot of respect for those guys who put the work in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take a look. You've got several projects underway, and I think the one that's impacting the most number of people is the West Avenue.
Yeah.
Because that's shut between Michigan and Washington, I think.
It's shut between Morel.
Oh wow.
Morel and Michigan.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, it's kind of off topic a little bit, but we're also working on Greenwood at this point. So, you know, our routes into the city from the south are more constrained. We've got both Greenwood and West Ave closed. So, you know, everyone's trying to, you know, we've got signed detour routes. You know, you can come up MLK or Wisner or 4th Street, but, you know, it's one thing to have one of those routes closed. We got two of them closed at the same time. But on the one hand, it stinks for the public, but on the other hand, it's good when we're building stuff, right? Making things better.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, when they're done, they're going to be beautiful.
Yep, and they will last for a long time, and we won't have to put up with it again for a while. We just have to put up with it somewhere else.
Yeah, and you're going all the way down to the, because there's utilities going in on these water.
Well, on West Avenue, we did replace the water main from Carlton up to Michigan, and that's going to help close a network. You know, in that neighborhood, we've got a lot of new water mains done on Franklin and Washington, on West Michigan Avenue, on west north of town. So it's going to fill in that gap. We also had a couple blocks in there with a significantly undersized water main. So it's going to make that better there down there on West Avenue. On Greenwood, we're just doing a pavement job. It's not going to get into the water main as much. But
let's one more question about West Ave. Is there anything changing with the intersection at Washington or Franklin?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to be putting in a new traffic signal, basically modernizing it with the. It's going to be the box band configuration with the mast arms that you're seeing. Pretty much, it is our standard here in town. I mean, that's all we've built for the last several years. And then we're also going to be redoing the curb lines to, you know, make it easier for drivers to understand where they're supposed to be, because we've had a little too much pavement out there. Looks like they're moving ahead on us. You want us to move to Greenwood?
Yeah. So now we'll move. Okay, now we'll go to Greenwood.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So
let's see what's happening
Greenwood,
in Greenwood.
Greenwood that's just a repaving job. That's not a full depth job. We're not doing the underground, the utilities. Basically, we're going to mill off the surface with a mill and then repave it to get us a nice new surface.
And right now, the traffic is able to go one way.
Correct. We originally planned to do the project under traffic, and basically we decided it wasn't working for the motorists or for the workers out there. So we have had to make some adjustments, but I think, and we're still making adjustments. But basically, right now, every property is accessible. You can pass through there if you're going south. If you're going north, though, you're going to be set on a detour around the project site.
Now, this is new. You're reconfiguring the Greenwood and 1st Street.
Right. The south leg of 1st Street, you know, back in the day, they used to kind of cross at a very tight angle. And the north side, I think we fixed that back in like 2006 or 7. So you turn in at a 90-degree angle, but that south side, it still was coming in like this. You know, and someone trying to pull out had to look over their back. So we've tightened that up. A lot less pavement. It kind of helps drivers understand where they're supposed to be, and it makes everybody more visible. Both the guy who's trying to pull out and the guy coming down the street who's got to look out for him. So,
yeah, and people aren't familiar with the area. It all started when Abe's Chicken burned down. Do you remember that?
No, that's before my time.
Right there, that was where Abe's Chicken was, and it burned down. And then I think at the point that the city said, "Oh, well, that allows us to maybe expand the street, the intersection, and the kind of.
I don't know, man. That was before me. But you know, First Street and Greenwood, they're both major streets that have a lot of that traffic. And I suppose back in the day, before everyone was driving cars, it probably worked better. But you know, when you get to this point where,
well, that's it. Because when you had intersections that weren't 90 degrees, that was okay. But now it's against the law or something.
Well,
isn't
it's
it?
not against the law. It's just not safe, right? So because everyone's driving and traffic counts are higher, and you know, frankly, our vehicles are better. We drive faster, and you know, it's never a good thing when someone's got to look over almost behind them to see if they're free to turn.
Or you have to ask your wife to move her head.
Yes.
They don't like that.
No.
All right, now there's another stupid thing guys do.
Yeah.
Move your head. I can't see. All right, now the railroad bridges. Railroad bridges. Is that what we're talking about?
Downtown bridge work.
Oh, the downtown bridge work.
The railroad bridges over Jackson and Mechanic Street.
Yeah.
They're still going. They're just plugging away at them.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing they're going to replace those bridges, and all this work is going on while the bridges are still open for trains. So, you know, they're working around the train schedule, and and that involves a lot in terms of safety, making sure everybody stays safe and that the tracks are monitored and they're not moving or anything. We did find out today, it sounds like a good portion of the work is going to be have to be pushed off till the spring of next year. They have some utilities that are conflicting, and they're having a hard time getting the permitting done to get them moved. So there's really nothing to be done about that. So we're going to have to live with that for the winter.
Well,
but work is progressing.
Yeah, well, you can tell just looking at it. It's
Yeah.
not going to be done next week.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when the time comes, they are going to have to eventually shut the bridges down for trains, but it's going to be the closure period is going to be minimal. They're basically
Hours.
going to bridge the new bridge on the side and push it into place.
That'll be the day to go watch.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating just to see the equipment they use and how they do it. But that's how important those rail lines are, you know, between Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah, there's a train on there every 3 hours or so.
Yep.
All right, and the other bridge project is, because these are two bridges. We had Washington done, now we've got another bridge over the Grand River on High Street.
Right. The East High Street out there by My Corps and out by the industrial park.
Yeah, and we don't have film of it because Noah got yelled at by a guy on the construction
Because did Noah
site.
drive past a sign that said road closed?
Right.
Right.
He was
Yeah, so
scared.
it's appropriate that he got yelled at then.
He was appropriately yelled at.
Correct.
Yes, he drove past the barricades.
Yes.
But those barricades start way, way, way up, way in advance. of
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm sure he wasn't yelled at. I'm sure he was politely asked to not drive down there, right?
No, I don't know. Was he yelled at or was he
Bring
politely
it on
asked?
the show next segment. We'll talk about it.
Well, next time he needs to go down there, you know, I'll if he wants me to meet him down there, we get a vest
Will
and
you
hard
write
hat
him a
on him, and
permission slip?
we'll take him down there to get footage. But right now, it's not a big deal. You didn't get footage because there's nothing to see.
There's nothing to see.
There's no bridge.
I think that's what the guy said. There's nothing to see.
There's no bridge there right now. You know, like everyone knows what it looks like with a bridge. It looks about the same, except there's no bridge.
Okay.
But they've gotten a lot of the prep work done. They're expecting the new beams to be delivered in right after 4th of July. Basically, they've got all the abutment walls and the piers in the river ready for the beams, and basically they're gonna, when the beams come in, they're gonna come off the truck and they're gonna put them right on the bridge and do it all in one operation, and probably start pouring the new deck and putting everything back together in August. So, you know, we'll get it done late summer, and then there'll be something to look at.
All right, so when there's something to look at, Troy's going to take you over there, Noah. Well, you guys keep up the great work, and thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
It's always great to see you. Troy White from the City of Jackson, Department of Engineering. Next on